Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this evening, 50-year-old man shot and killed in St. Catherine. The St. Catherine South Police have launched an investigation into the shooting death of a 50-year-old resident of Bannister District near Old Harbour. The deceased has been identified as O'Neill Bailey of Pointy Heights Bannister Housing Scheme, St. Catherine. It is reported that about 9:30 p.m. Friday, explosions were heard and Bailey was found dead with what appeared to be gunshot wounds. The police responded and the scene was processed and the body removed. Bailey's murder followed that of 26-year-old laborer Anthony Taylor, who was shot and killed by unknown assailants in Sukaba Gardens, Old Harbour, St. Catherine, about 2:30 a.m. Friday. Detectives from the Old Harbour Criminal Investigation Branch are probing both matters. Residents fear more violence following East Kingston murders. The East Kingston Criminal Investigation Branch is probing two murders which occurred in the police division within 48 hours, driving upwards the homicide numbers and heightening fears of a peaceful summer. The latest incident took place in front of the Vauxhall High School entrance on Thursday, where, according to police reports, a businessman was gunned down while seated in his car along Windward Road, Kingston 2. The deceased man has been identified as 47-year-old Damien Edwards of Malvern Avenue in Kingston. Reports from the Eletson Road Police are that about 6:40 p.m., a police team on patrol responded to hearing several explosions in the area. On their arrival, they stumbled upon a white Nissan Tida motor vehicle along the roadway, with Edwards seated in the driver's seat with multiple gunshot wounds. He was assisted to hospital, where he was pronounced dead. When the news visited the area on Friday, residents expressed the shock at the death and lamented the state of criminality in the area. "Them man, they are girls, man. Him not deal with gun. All know me can't believe it. People hear him on his phone and talk to a girl, and she a tell him where to meet her. Him all did a buy food nearby and tell the shop operator to share the food him soon come back. He never did," a resident said. "You can't even trust a man or woman in these times. The summer just look bleaky, and the year done never start off good already. Right now, enough people are investing in installing security cameras in homes and businesses." Detectives are also investigating the death of a man who was killed on Wellington Street off Victoria Avenue. When the news visited that section of the community, the blood stain of the unidentified man was on the road surface, with flies milling around. Some residents told the news that the deceased man is unknown to them. A police source who requested anonymity told the news team that they have received information that the man came to the area to purchase an illegal firearm and was ambushed. They believe a sum of cash was also taken from the deceased. Both murder incidents are still under investigation. On Friday, when the news arrived at the space, a police service vehicle was strategically parked at a location where Windward Road meets Victoria Avenue. Since the start of the year and the years prior, the East Kingston community of Dunkirk has been embroiled in gang flare-ups, which often lead to murders and shootings. As at July 6, murders and shootings in the division had increases of 13% and 33% respectively. The division recorded 34 murders, 4 more than the corresponding period in 2023. There were 28 shooting incidents, 7 more than the period under review in 2023. St. James SSP to seek updates into phone analysis in Gabriel King murder case. More than 2 years after the brutal January 13, 2022 murder of 9-year-old Gabriel King rocked St. James and the wider Jamaica, the parish's commanding officer of police, Senior Superintendent Aaron Samuels, has promised to seek an update into the police's analysis of the child's mother's phone. Samuels made the commitment in a brief but forward-stepping statement while addressing Thursday's monthly meeting of the St. James Municipal Corporation, where Councillor Michael Troop, the councillor for the Granville Division, requested an update into the case's investigation. "I am seeking just a little update from the superintendent where there was a murder in my division about 2 years now, the boy whose vehicle they hijacked, and they killed him. St. James needs an update on that, Troop said in a short but pointed request. As it relates to an update regarding that murder, there is no update from the last time in terms of the investigation. The last thing we had heard was that the court had ordered that the phone be released. That is still being processed by our technical persons, so we have not gotten an update since then, but I will seek to get that as soon as possible. Just remember that investigations take time, Samuels replied. That commitment from Samuels is the latest information to be given in relation to Gabriel King's murder, which took place after the child, who was developmentally challenged, was reportedly abducted from his mother, Amoy Leon Issa, on January 13, 2022, along the Tucker Main Road in St. James. According to reports at the time, assailants dragged Leon Issa from the motor car in which the mother and the child were traveling, and then sped off with the vehicle, with young King still inside. The vehicle was later found along the Fairfield Main Road, and the child's body was found in the back seat with the throat slashed. The controversy around Leon Issa's phone is in regard to an order from the St. James Parish Court on November 18, 2022, that she should surrender the device to the police to assist their investigations into her son's murder. Leon Issa filed a motion in the Supreme Court through her legal team challenging the order, citing her right to privacy, but the Supreme Court upheld the order, following in chambers hearings on March 30 and April 26, 2023. Leon Issa subsequently handed over the access code for the phone to the police on September 29, 2023, following an order from the Supreme Court that she should grant that access by 4 p.m. that day. There has been long-standing frustration among the public concerning the apparent lack of progress or updates into the investigation of King's murder, with the Jamaica Constabulary Force having frequently stated in the early months of their probe that there were no new developments. There were also declarations from detectives in the case that they were being stonewalled in their investigations due to lack of cooperation from persons close to the matter. Reputed King Valley Gang leader and sidekick convicted for conspiring to murder Crown witness. Alleged the leader of the Westmoreland-based King Valley Gang, Derval Williams, O.C. Lukey, and his sidekick, Kristen Grant, were on Friday found guilty of conspiring via cellular phones to murder a Crown witness while behind the bars at Horizon Adult Remand Center in 2020, the same year they were let off on anti-gang charges. Williams and Grant are among 3 former King Valley Gang accused who had remained behind the bars in relation to other crimes after being freed by Chief Justice Brian Sykes in July 2020 when that gang trial collapsed. But according to evidence led by the Crown, a mere month before the Chief Justice's shock ruling, June 2020 to be specific, correctional officers during searches of the cells occupied by Williams and Grant discovered cellular phones which the men claimed belonged to them. The phone claimed by Williams was discovered in the ventilation area at the back of the cell, while the handset claimed by Grant was found in the groove beneath a 5-gallon water bottle held in place by a bar of soap. The men were charged on a 4-count indictment with 1 count each of conspiring to murder and the concealment of a prohibited article, 2 cellular phones. A digital forensics expert brought by the prosecution in April when the case began outlined the evidence to prove that the confiscated phones truly belonged to the men. In one of several voice notes played into the records of the tribunal, a voice identified by 2 Crown witnesses as belonging to Williams was heard saying he had received intelligence that a particular top-flight female investigator had visited the targeted witness on 3 occasions and that she was supposedly trying to shore up evidence against them after losing the first case. On Friday, Supreme Court Judge Justice Caroline Ty Powell, in her submission and the verdict, set aside arguments by the defense that the voice notes were disjointed and not sequential and were not sufficient to prove that the men conspired to murder the witness or anyone else for that matter. I found the evidence of the correctional officer to be credible. The court finds that the content on the phone supported the finding that it belongs to Williams, Justice Ty Powell said. She also said the court accepted the evidence that there was communication between Williams and Grant on their respective phones by way of text messages and WhatsApp voice notes. She said while aspects of the evidence suggested that other inmates also used the phones, the significant use of the handsets were by the two men. She said the phone owned by Grant had WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram and an email account in his name and his alias Bobby. In ruling on count 1 of the indictment, which jointly charged the men with conspiring to murder the Westmoreland woman, Justice Ty Powell said she accepted as credible the voice identification evidence given by a deputy superintendent of police who had encountered both men on several occasions and the Crown witness they had marked for death, who testified that she has known Grant all his life. Justice Ty Powell said the court, in considering the voice notes, which were not in standard English and which contained unique Jamaican terminologies, was of the opinion that they are statements made to infer the killing of someone. It is clear to the court that diabolical statements are contained in the voice notes. It is clear there was a communication between Derval Williams and Kristen Grant. In one of the 10 voice notes with the assassination plan, which were played into the records of the court, Grant was heard as saying, "If Williams wanted to dirt the witness, you should make me know where you want. Anything you are pre, just let me know so I can organize the thing. You know the thing, element of surprise." Several notes later, a voice identified by prosecution witnesses as belonging to Williams is heard as saying, "Me go dirt her, man. Me go dirt her. For real, man. Me go do it. Me go do it." Grant was then heard spurring Williams on by saying, "Me wouldn't mind we use one stone and kill two birds, but I just want you do so, and just slap 1, 2, 3 one time, and left the whole place weeping and mourning." Said Justice Ty Powell, "It is my opinion that Kristen Grant is agreeing with Derval Williams. It is clear that Grant understood what Williams is talking about. It is significant that he refers to we. This suggests they are acting together. He is suggesting that there must be loss, there must be death. He is suggesting that action must be taken quick and fast, as he emphasized that the situation is serious and needs to be dealt with openly," said the judge. According to the evidence, Grant had gone as far as to tell Williams that he would find out the work schedule of the witness in order to organize her death, as the COVID-19 pandemic had made it so that everybody did them yard. This is where the intention was. This is where Derval Williams indicates his intention to be party to the murder, the death of the individuals, the judge stated. In noting the evidence of the witness, who had mentioned her sister and her mother by name, Justice Ty Powell said mention by the men of those same names was an indication that they intended to kill not only the witness but her family members as well, given the reference by Grant to killing 3 birds with 1 stone and leaving the place weeping and mourning. The inference from the words "sister go left" is that something needs to be done to eliminate the Crown witness, and there is an expressed concern about her sister remaining behind, added the judge. Grant, in another voice note, was heard as saying, "Yeah dog, remember them woman they terrible. A whole heap of people them woman they turn down. Me now make them something catch me, just a clean up. When you are clean up something, you clean up and done." According to the judge, he is saying there must be no room for retaliation from anyone. It is clear from these last voice notes that Kristen Grant is saying not only Crown witness should be eliminated, but others as well. She said also it was clear that the men were confident about their ability to remain in contact with the outside world despite being behind the bars. The court finds as a fact that a forensic examination of the cell phones revealed various voice notes. These were the voices of the accused. That these voice notes revealed that there were discussions between Derval Williams and Kristen Grant to do an illegal act. I find that the Crown has proved beyond reasonable doubt that the accused persons conspired with each other and did indeed propose to murder the Crown witness. I therefore enter a verdict of guilty on counts 1, 3, and 4 of the indictment, Justice Ty Powell ruled. On Friday, Williams and Grant, who sat side by side in the prisoner's dock, listened expressionless, at one point adopting identical poses by sitting forward attentively, their forearms braced on their legs. The men gave no reaction to the guilty verdict, but for an almost imperceptible smile that tugged at the lips of Williams after he was cuffed and led from the dock. The sentencing for the men was set for the next court term, which begins in September. A social inquiry report and an antecedent report were ordered for both. Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.